We got a bunch to get into today. We talking about SoCal politics. We talking about Diddy. We talking about a whole bunch of shit. Keep it locked here. Icon City commentary starts right now.
Yo, I'm something like a white bitch crossed with a hood rat, wrapped in a cute little black boy body. Yo, I hop on the beat and let them know how I'm about, cause I know bum bitches out there wanna die. Something like a white bitch crossed with a hood rat, wrapped in a cute little black boy body. Yo, I hop on the beat and let them know how I'm about, cause I know bum bitches out there wanna die. But how real is your fame if they don't throw shade? How real is your hustle if you don't get paid? I'm like shit, I was a time, even back in the struggle. That nigga be catching checks, but that nickel, he said I talk a lot of shit for a bundle of sticks. Told him to light a flame and see how big that flame get. From Philly to LA, they think I'm a pirate. Swear it's no problem wherever I slide through. See me on check, know that it's just a fly through. Do not be upset if I don't reply to you. I was looking, just not trying to find you. Like really, you thought you...
It's amazing. I'm here again twice in 1 week. Wednesdays and Saturdays is the new vibe here at Icon City News and the commentary. Obviously, I don't want to do this Diddy story, but I have to. It's so much like every other version of this story where you have a powerful guy and it's just the drip and it's the arrest and all that kind of stuff. And so it happens so slowly that I think like a lot of people become numb to it. I was reminded of a earlier conversation that we had about Diddy.
Growing up as a young black boy, Diddy was like the man to give you either a start or you wanted to be the businessman that you know and loved. And he was his father, this caring man. And yes, money does a lot of things that can make everything look any which way that you desire for it to. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want it to be I'm making the band. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yes, I remember to walk for the cheesecake and everything.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on that show. He did it for me was Icon. And only for, what was it, a couple days ago, I want to say no longer than a week ago, the video from him attacking Cassie leaked. And back for me, I knew something was weird when she hit him with that lawsuit and then he just paid it like overnight and just shut her up. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what? No. For me, I was still like a little bit in denial just because I said P. Diddy was like this, but like everybody loved P. Diddy. So of course you want to take a black man down, right? Because that's just, I don't know. That was my defense. So then for it only to be so true was very sad, I think, for me personally.
I get the reluctance to, particularly black men who created institutions and stuff like that. I get the reluctance to want to believe those kind of stories. But I will say, as a fan of Mace, as a fan of Biggie Smalls, as a fan of Mary J. Blige, all of these people intimated that this was a dark guy. And then similar, and I'm not trying to throw Russell Simmons in there, even though I brought his name up, but I think the people who do their claim to fame, like their main talent is being a successful businessman. I think he had his own version of Puff. I think he has his own version of like Art of the Deal. He definitely seemed more like a Black Trump to me than like a freedom fighter. Like I can't think of like tons of charity work that he's been like involved in. Yeah.
I don't know if I had any relationship or like idea of him. I'm relatively young. And I think that I wasn't aware of all of the things.
Now there's full-on investigations. Like it could end up where he's like in an R. Kelly situation where he's behind bars and his entire legacy is his crime.
It's really sad to do those horrific things to someone. I am not one for.
I'm sorry that one of your heroes has been like taken down. Can't feel good and stuff. So now you just have to. I guess the question is, can we separate? Is it going to be an R. Kelly thing where people are taking the music down and no one's listening to it, and a whole part of your childhood goes away because someone's canceled?
Or it stays murky enough where it's Michael Jackson, where it's like everyone still loves the music. There are people who are always going to roll their eyes about Michael.
Sort of me, I don't want to see somebody be taken down like that. In a sense of, okay, now we got to get all these witnesses, we got to get this jury, we got to get these judges, lawyers.
Yeah.
Be taken from. their homes because it takes it. And then I imagine it would be a long trial, right? Because these women are going to come forth. And
Oh, yeah.
everybody comes out when the cameras come. Everybody comes. Girls are going to come out of the yin.
Besides called Me
It'd
Too.
be like Cosby,
Yeah.
the Cosby trial.
I don't know. I guess for me, it's really
Or
tricky.
Epstein.
It's really tricky for me. I don't know.
For the music wise, no. For the music, I am going to, if I like a song, I like a song. Okay.
Ignition remix and the chest slide are still fun.
What are we going to do?
Step in the Name of Love.
I'm going to be Harlem Shaking. I like the Diddy Dirty Money stuff. So I just was never under any illusion that he was like this great, benevolent force. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he's a featured artist. So we're going to,
More for me, Diddy for me was more of just the idea. For
okay. The role model. Yeah.
it's not that deep.
Okay, so already, like, y'all gonna probably think that I'm coming at this from like a biased point of view, but proof that I do not hate this man. Okay, when I like to smell a certain way and be nostalgic, I still wear Unforgivable by Sean John. So it's not hate, being just being honest. So I'm not, and to prove that, I think we just let Diddy's lawyer get his 2 cents in there. Spoiler alert, Diddy intends to plead non-guilty. Now, I'm going to tell you why he may have to reconsider that on the other side.
So this was the first chat. We have a bail appeal scheduled for tomorrow at 3:30 in front of Judge Carter, the district judge assigned to this case. I think that if we made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think it came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. He's been looking forward to this day. He's been looking forward to clearing his name, and he's going to clear his name. And we're going to stand by his side as he does. We believe in him wholeheartedly. He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime. There's basically just someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal case. And we're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he. And eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent. And so tomorrow we fight again. And we'll fight every day until we don't have to fight anymore. I just want to make one point very clear. We have no power. All we can do is show good faith. He got on a plane and he came here. And if he stayed here for 1 day before the case started, or for 1 year before the case started, he was going to stay as long as he needed to stay. It ends up being only 12 days. That's fine. That's what the government wanted to do. The government didn't want him to turn himself in. He came here to turn himself in. Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest the guy who came to New York to turn himself in. But we're going to make all these points again tomorrow, and we'll make it as much as we can until we get him out.
So anyway, for those of you who haven't read it, the first paragraph of the 3-count federal indictment against the music mogul Sean Diddy Combs lays out an overarching summary of serious and sprawling allegations against him. So for decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Love, the defendant, allegedly abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, to protect his reputation, and to conceal his conduct. That's what the indictment says. Why I said before we played the bit from the attorneys and the lawyers was why I think that overall he's probably likely going to plead out on this is because this is a conspiracy. It's a RICO charge. And so unlike cases like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein, you could say Jeffrey Epstein a little bit when Ghislaine Maxwell went to jail. Outside of that, there hasn't been a lot of effort in holding accountable all the people who these alleged traffickers in their activities. And I do think it's interesting that they're deciding to do that differently this time. I know that drugs and firearms feature more into this than they do in those cases like Bill Cosby and whatnot. So obviously that's a reason why this is elevated. But again, I go back to my original point. I feel like it's been happening so slow, and so there's a numbness to it. Now, I don't know if we're going to get rid of all the music. Music is mostly other people's music, which goes back to my, my initial, why I'm cool on him. I've been cool on Diddy, okay? And so that's just that. But I hope that the damage to his daughters and sons is limited. I think that, and knock on wood, so far the man has not been accused of murder. But when I think of O.J. Simpson and how not only did they lose their mother, but their father incarcerated for so long, ostracized from society, not really able to contribute to their lives in a meaningful way, I do wonder what's going to happen to some of Diddy's kids who unfortunately have already lost their mother. So I do hope that there's compassion, and I bring that up because, like I said, a RICO charge is going to affect multiple people, and hopefully they're not collateral damage in this.